this video, I would detail how I sold my Amazon business and the steps you can take to increase your business valuation to potential buyers. My name is Rick Wong, former Amazon sellers and founder of SellerMetrics, an Amazon PPC agency. So if you're interested in content such as this one, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. So I know this video is talking about how I sold my Amazon business, but I'm also going to give a little background of how my Amazon business came about. I started in 2016, and back then the common theme was that Amazon selling was too competitive. So basically a similar theme reoccurs every single year. No matter what, there's always going to be opportunity at Amazon. It doesn't get easier, but opportunity is still there. So I don't want to discourage anybody from like selling on Amazon. In 2016, I started Amazon business. This is from I started mainly because I met somebody, an actual Amazon seller, when I was on a trip to Thailand, and he was running his Amazon business while traveling, which I thought was really neat. And during this time, the book written by Tim Ferriss, The 4 Hours Workweek, was blowing up. I read the book and I loved it. I loved the idea. So that really kind of pushed me to that mindset. It pushed me to entrepreneurship. Now, being a seasoned entrepreneur, know that no legit business like 4-hour work week. Yes, that's possible, but you have to put like 100 hours beforehand to reap that benefit. I guess like that title is a bit of red herring, but at the same time, that book kind of gave me the right mindset to kind of start my Amazon business. Fast forward 2020, the business is growing up to 25 SKUs and was making $200,000 a month in sales. That's US dollars, and had 5 to 6 employees situated around the globe. So I was making a comfortable living while supporting my employees. So everything was good. But during this time, I wouldn't say I was not happy, but I was like moving on to a different stage of my life where I was going to get married, and I decided to sell the business just because I'm going to be moving on to a different stage of my life, and also I'm looking for a new challenge, right? Because at the end of the day, Amazon, a lot of like the knowledge you learn as an Amazon seller is not really that affordable. For example, client acquisition. Amazon already acquired all the customers for you. You don't really do much in terms of customer acquisition. So I want to really challenge myself professionally. So that's why I want to move on to the next stage. So selling my business. So I referenced this article right here, the Medium article. I basically detailed right after I sold my business. I detailed exactly how I sold my business. So basically, there is six main steps to selling your business. For me, first things first was to find a broker. At that point, in around early 2020, there wasn't that much of a proliferation of like the Amazon aggregators you see today, and selling your Amazon business is not that clear cut. There wasn't too many resources. I think now is a little different because there's a lot of resources in terms of how you're going to sell your Amazon business. A lot of like aggregators out there are putting like content and welcome being reached out to directly if you're actually selling your Amazon business. But back then it's not that clear cut, so I decided to work with a broker that has like all the necessary buyer contacts and also vetted buyers as well, so I won't be wasting my time. So I decided to go with a broker and basically off to races. So the next step would be prep your financials. It's very, very important, which luckily I did, right? As you can see, like in the next part, my P&L, it's a very detailed P&L all the way down to SKU level. Details like all the income and all the expenses, which is very important because, your valuation, right, of your business is basically based on your P&L. So I think I mentioned this later, but having this beforehand really helped me because if I have to do all my bookkeeping, right, when I want to sell my business would not be ready for to be sold for like months. So now you have your P&L. So the next thing is that they'll give you a valuation of your business, and the valuation range between like 2 to 4 multiple, right? It's going to be very rare that you get like way over like X multiple, unless your brand is like really special, like there's like a special patent and stuff like that. As I mentioned, like here, 3 things that can really like increase your multiple: quality of revenue, growth, does have a team in place. Although this number, has changed since the Amazon aggregator. I feel they don't place too much value if you have a team in place nowadays because they already have a team. So my valuation ended up being 2.48. So, right? Not the best, but not the worst, I guess. And this is my listing right here. The next step would be the buyer-seller call. It's very much like dating. For me, it took me 3 months to kind of meet my potential buyer. So once the buyer is interested, they'll send you like letter of intent, and the letter of intent is basically just like a offer, like a initial offer for your business, stating the terms, the valuation of their offer. Again, this is not a legal binding document, the letter of intent comes in a lot of different forms, like the percentage upfront, the earnout, etc., the valuation. One thing to note though, that especially nowadays, it's very important for you to try your best to optimize for an offer that give you the maximum amount upfront. Place like a good amount of premium on the upfront payment, because nowadays there are situations where the buyer kind of back out on the second part of the payment. So you can see like this article right here that an aggregator face a lawsuit, SellerX. The actual seller, Regal Games, is claiming that SellerX did not pay Regal Games the remaining payment on the original agreed amount. So you want to minimize that risk by trying to get as much upfront as possible. For example, maybe you could take like a valuation hit, but you could take like say 70% upfront versus like 50% upfront. So a lot of aggregators nowadays, they like to do an earnout, but then again, an earnout would mean that you have to be trust in their capabilities of whether they could realize the profit that they promise that they're going to generate. Because nowadays, a lot of aggregators, I'll be honest, I kind of consult with the aggregators that a lot of them really talk up their capabilities, and in terms of their ability to actually operate the business is worse than they say. So I would say very, very important for you to just negotiate as much as you can up front. So the next part is due diligence. So due diligence, the buyer will basically go through your P&L and basically vet all your information. So again, this is very important for you to kind of just make sure that you understand your financials. So this way that any kind of questions that the buyer might have, you could easily answer them, and that they don't use your P&L against you, right? Because you kind of know your P&L inside out. For example, someone like a big cost, like maybe 3PL costs, right? You know exactly how much that is, right? And that you're not gonna be caught flat-footed when they ask you like some very pointed questions about your P&L. Two things: it also eliminates it gives like the buyers a degree of confidence that you actually know these numbers, and two, it really moves along the process. There is a chance that they might renegotiate the letter of intent, right? Again, letter of intent is not a legal binding document. So let's just say they go through due diligence, something they're not that happy with. They might go back to the letter of intent and say, okay, because of this, I'm going to lower the purchase, the offer price. And that is up to you to accept or not accept, right? Once everything's accepted on both sides, the buyer will send you like a asset purchase agreement. And this agreement states everything, right? States the price, what's going to happen if the sale doesn't follow through on each party, right? And so anything that is going to go wrong with this deal, what's going to happen. And again, this is like a legal binding document. So when you sign this and they sign this, it's final, right? And if either party were to back out, there are grounds for legal recourse. So once you sign it, be careful. This is it, right? There's really no turning back at this point. Finally, the good stuff, the payment is made like via escrow and also the asset transfer. Once this is done, basically the deal more or less closed. And unless there's like a maybe second part payment, the deal will really finalize after like all the payment is made. So basically that's more or less the sales process. And now let's talk about steps for you to kind of increase your valuation when you want to sell your business. So I did make a few mistakes. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to mention, some of them I haven't actually done, and looking back I should have done to kind of increase my valuation. So if I'd done a lot of these stuff, I might have like, instead of 2.48 multiple, maybe like 2.7 or something, or even better. Most important part is, I think, is to plan ahead of time. So plan a year ahead of time before you'll sell, right? Because a lot of like the business decisions that you make right now takes time to filter down to your P&L, right? So for example, when you do evaluations based on the last 12 months of profit, right? And let's just say you did like a product launch in the last 12 months, and that would take a hit on your P&L. So first of all, you want to plan a year ahead. Second thing that you want to do is optimize your catalog. So that means that products that don't attribute to like a good margin to your overall business, cut them immediately. I know Amazon sellers, me included, that love to give a product a chance, right? Maybe too long sometimes, right? To see that it could do better, rank better. If you do plan to sell within a year time, make sure to optimize your catalog and making sure that you only include the products that are making a good profit for you. The rest of them, you want to basically liquidate, stop selling altogether, stop putting ad spend into these inefficient product altogether. 3, stop your product launches. So obviously you want to optimize your P&L. Every time you launch your product, you need to put upfront capital, upfront investment. So cut that. 4th, cut non-Amazon related costs. So that means that if you do any like backlinking or anything AdWords related, things that you're spending that is non-Amazon related that might not reap a reward to your P&L within like say a few months, I say you want to cut it right away. For example, social media marketing, let's just say you pay like somebody $1,000 a month to do social media. Cut that out immediately. 5th, keep your inventory lean. So when I say lean inventory, so that means that reduce the need to use a 3PL as much as possible. Maybe just cut the 3PL out entirely. So get your supplier to send the product directly from their factory to the FBA to kind of reduce the reliance on 3PL. And then keep your inventory as lean as possible. You know, maybe you have like 40 days on hand or 40 days of stock in hand in FBA. You want to maybe like trim that out to like 30 days on hand or maybe 20 days on hand. This will keep your overall FBA costs down and improve your profits. So that's one way for you to optimal for sale. Finally, I would say double down on the 80-20 rule. So 80-20 everything. So I know this is a very broad advice. For example, you know, concentrate on the products that does the majority of sales. Concentrate on the products. Concentrate your ad spend on the product that attribute most of the profits, right? Making sure that you do your conversion rate optimization on the products that does, you know, most of the profits for you. So stuff of that nature, right? To invest in new products, this is probably not the time if you're looking to sell your products within a year. So that is my advice for anyone that is looking to sell their Amazon business anytime soon. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you're an Amazon seller and want to grow your business via Amazon PPC, please schedule an Amazon audit with me using the link below. And until the next video drop, happy selling.